Loan Modification System. How to apply for a loan in the loan modification system. Before entering loan modification, be sure that you enter your client's information in the contact information provided from the left side of the main screen. The information entered in the contact's information will be copied automatically into the loan modification area once the loan modification is clicked. It is advised that you do not enter into the loan modification area until you have the information entered into the contact information area. The RMA application, Request for Modification Affidavit. Click the ham icon to enter into the RMA application. Once this icon is clicked, several forms will be displayed on screen. The first page is a short form that has to be filled in by everybody that wants to apply for a loan modification with the bank after March 2010. For assistance, click Instructions on how to fill in the application. To facilitate the form, click the yellow light bulb icon. Note that the client must have a hardship affidavit in order to qualify for the program. The second page is a form for the income and expenses for household assets for the whole household. If both spouses contribute to the income of the house, then both should be considered and be consolidated in the form. The first column, this is for the gross income of the household. The second column, this is for the monthly household expenses and debts. The credit card and installment loans to be entered are only the total payment per month and not the total debt. The loan information. Only the first mortgage is important because it can at least be modified on the HAMP. On the rate field, the rate is written in decimal form. The field will convert the decimal number automatically as a percentage. The second column of the loan information is the information data about the loan. Note that the loan servicer company is usually the bank that gave you the loan. Soft appraisal. Once you click the CHECK BPO button, the system will take you to Zillow.com. Zillow will try to find a BPO for you automatically. Note that you can make some changes based on your department number in Zillow. Once all the forms are filled in, click Calculate the eligibility of the prospect. This pink button will calculate the eligibility of the prospect. If the prospect is eligible, conditions will be displayed in the area below this button. If the prospect is not eligible, possible reasons may include too much income or zero income. To go to the Amortization Tables area, click Amortizations Table. This area is where the table for a particular modification loan is displayed. You can see how the payments change over time, such as 10 years or 30 years later based on the HAMP guidelines. The Advanced Screen area. This is where you can review and learn how a client has been eligible or not. Note, NPV loss interest for given debt has to be lower than the NPV loss in order to be approved. To ask for help and guidelines, several articles are available. To enter into Loan Modification Area, click Loan Modification. Information Area. This is the area in the loan modification where you can see the borrower's data, the co-borrower's data, and the templates that you have in the Templates Manager. The central area, Private Notes. This is where you can enter notes that are supposed to be only for you and your team. They are not seen by your clients. Status Report section. This is where you can enter information and email to your client at a later time. To do this, click the envelope icon. This is a useful way to be updated to your client. Main tab section. This is where you can put notes, history, documents, emails, invoices, and progresses with your client. The Progress tab is a special area where you can enter information that you want to share with your client on the internet. The bottom area. This is usually where the freestyle works. In freestyle, you are going to evaluate what would be the acceptable DTI percentage that a bank would accept. In the proposed deal column, the PITI, or the principal interest and insurance, is calculated. The closer you have the PITI to 31%, the more chance you have that you are approved by the lender. The net surplus is related to the income and expenses. To go to the income and expenses using Freestyle, click the Income and Expenses button right beside the Mortgages section. Once Income and Expenses is clicked, the income, expenses, and assets for the borrower and co-borrower and their net surplus are displayed. This net surplus will be copied to the main loan modification screen and will be entered in the net surplus field. To copy the date from the current deal column to the proposed deal column, click the Copy Current to Proposed button. To add unlimited lenders and/or qualify their information, click the Lender List button. The Income and Expenses section. In this section are several fields and buttons. The CHECK BPO button works the same way in the RMA. The Task Manager. This is the same Task Manager from the main screen. The Forms menu. The forms in this section can only be opened once their particular Go button is clicked. You can also print, email, or e-fax any of the forms by clicking the icons on the left. Application Form. This will copy some of the data from the Loan Modification Area to the Application Form area. Checklist. The checklist area are the things that your client will need to add some other options other than the ones suggested in the form. It can be modified using the Edit Form button inside this area. Letter of Hardship. This is where the letter of hardship is displayed. It can also be modified using the Edit Form button. Authorization Form. This is usually where the mortgage's agents are entered. This form can only be edited partially. Client's Responsibilities. This form is modifiable. Note that the buttons on the second column of this form are used to enter the symbols that will be replaced by the correct data when you print or email the form. Working Agreement Form. This is the form that is reviewed by your attorney and that it should be correct and applicable to your company. Power of Attorney. This form is also modifiable and where you can enter some fields. Attorney Retainer Contract. This form is only applicable for your attorney. Lender's Benefits Analysis. This form will calculate or suggest what the lender is going to take if it goes to foreclosure. It is a way to show to the lender how much money they are going to close if they go foreclosure. Client Benefits Analysis. This is where you can include all mortgage proposals to show the client how much money they are going to save if they go into modification as opposed to going into foreclosure. Client Proposal. This form is the proposal form from the client to the bank. The 4506T and 1021 forms. These are modifiable forms displayed in PDF format.